Welcome to Mid-Level Media, everybody, and it is time for my review and unboxing of the Paramount Presents edition of Airplane. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so let's get into this unboxing of Airplane, a part of the new Paramount Presents line that just started this year. This is number 7, as you see on the side. You also see the title of the film, and you see that Paramount Presents logo at the top. So, right here guys, just a really fun image that they decided to use for the cover. I really like it with that autopilot right there, the plane twisting up. That's a classic image of the film. Right down here, 1980, I love how they put these dates of the film there. I don't know, it's just a detail that I like. Let's go ahead and turn it over, guys. You have that image from the cockpit with the autopilot with the star of the film, Robert Hayes, and Julie Haggerty right there. Let's zoom up at the top. You have the synopsis of the film. Right down here, you have the statement from Paramount Presents about their new line, and over here you have the special features. And there's actually, usually with these, there's only one new special feature, and you actually get two pretty lengthy special features on this one, so that's really cool. And I don't know if Paramount Presents, they're getting more into their special features and stuff, and that's going to be a thing going forward, just longer special features. But that's cool that this one has probably the most special features of any of these releases thus far. The movie's rated PG. I have no idea how. Well, let's go ahead and open up this cover right here, because when you open up this slipcover, this is the really cool thing about these releases. It unveils the original poster on the slipcover. When you open it up, that's a part of the slipcover, so that is really awesome. You have the cast list right there. Let's go ahead and take it out of the slipcover. You have the same image right here on the cover, the Paramount Presents, the title, all that stuff, the 1980 down here at the bottom, same spine, and right here the same back as well without that Paramount Presents statement. So let's zoom in on the synopsis, the special features, and I think that's different right there with Leslie Nielsen popping out. I don't think that was on the back of the slipcover. No, it was not. So yeah, really cool presentation right here, guys. And let's go ahead and open it up real quick before we move on. And right there, just your ordinary blue disc, so that's a little disappointing, but we'll pop that out and we'll look at the back right here. One of the things I also love about these is that they have these cool quotes right here, just lines from the film. And this is actually not a line from the film. This is from the director, Jerry Zucker, on Airplane. So yeah, that's really cool, guys. Just a cool aspect to the film. But we'll go ahead and pop this disc back in, put it back in the slipcover, and move on to my thoughts on the film and just the overall presentation of the movie Airplane by Paramount Presents. Stay tuned. Alright guys, thank you for staying tuned to the review portion of this video, and we're going to get into talking about Airplane right now, guys, because this is just one of my favorite comedies of all time. And it's not just a great spoof movie, it's just one of the best comedies ever made, one of the most important comedies ever made. Of course, written and directed by Jim Abrams, David Zucker, Jerry Zucker, and starring Julie Haggerty, Robert Hayes, and Leslie Nielsen. This tells the story of Robert Hayes, an ex-fighter pilot forced to take over the controls of an airliner when the flight crew succumbs to food poisoning. So yeah, guys, like I said, just one of the most important spoof comedies of all time. And I mean, this is just, if you have not seen Airplane, guys, you have got to watch Airplane. Like all of these spoof movies that have come out probably since the year 2000, ever since the scary movie craze, Not Another Teen Movie, which I actually like those movies, but everything that came out after that, they just do not treat the spoof comedy with the same sort of reverence that they used to, and they've mostly largely stopped making those type of movies nowadays. And I would say your spoof movies nowadays is pretty much Deadpool. Like that's the movie that's done it the best, at least in the past few years. And that's not even a full-on spoof movie, but you got to go back to the day and watch these movies like Airplane, like Naked Gun, like Top Secret. Like these were the movies that kind of defined the spoof genre and what it could be back in the day. And Airplane is just, it has to be at the top of that list. The thing that sticks out to me about this movie is just it has such a great cast. And if you're gonna do a spoof movie right, like all of these people, and the directors even talk about it in the special features, all of these actors in this movie were mostly known for serious dramatic movies and serious performances before this, and it was kind of a battle to get them on board with the script. But that's the beauty of this movie, and that's how you shoot a good spoof comedy. Everybody in this movie plays everything 100% straight. They're not playing it like a comedian would, doing a comedic performance. Like they're playing it like they're that gets real. Like they're really acting in this movie, acting to what is being written, the ridiculous and silly situations that are being written for them, like they're serious, and that's what makes it funny. And guys, I mean, Leslie Nielsen, of course, he's known for these type of movies like Naked Gun and stuff, but he was also a serious actor before coming into this, and this is one of those first movies that kind of turned him into a more comedic actor, with the Naked Gun films, with Dracula Dead and Loving It, Mr. Magoo, everything that he went on to do after Airplane. After everybody just realized how much of a comedic genius he was. And yeah, he's great in this film. But the thing that really confused me about this movie, I'm going to go ahead and tell this very personal story. And so I'm watching this movie, and I haven't seen it in like 15 years. I'm watching the film, and Leslie Nielsen does not come into this movie until like 40 to 45 minutes in. It is a long time. It's almost the halfway point of the film until Leslie Nielsen comes on screen. And I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm looking at the back of this Paramount Presents edition, just the cast list, and he's not on the cast list on the back of this edition. And I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, did my mind make up that Leslie Nielsen was actually in the film Airplane? Like, I remember that iconic line, I am serious and don't call me Shirley. I'm almost positive that he says that in this movie, and I'm watching the movie, I'm like, he's not in it until 40 minutes in, and I almost drove myself crazy. And I didn't have my phone with me because I was watching it without it, so I didn't have any reference to look it up. And yeah, he comes on the screen about 40 minutes in, and I'm just like, because I thought everything I knew about life and movies and comedies beforehand had been lost, and I was just, I was going crazy in that moment. So when he popped up on screen, I was completely relieved, and he just brings an entirely different energy to this film once he comes on screen. There's funny stuff that happens before, don't get me wrong. The movie's hilarious for those first 40 minutes. But once he comes on screen, it's just a whole different level. You know, one of my favorite scenes of the movie is the blow up autopilot. They're like, let's turn the autopilot on. They hit it, and this thing blows up, inflatable blows up. That's a good bit that goes throughout the movie between I won't ruin it, but the blow up doll and Julie Haggerty's character. There's a pretty good bit that goes throughout the film that leads to some very hilarious moments. And yeah, this is just one of those great films. And like I said, a lot of serious actors in this movie. You have Peter Graves, you have Lloyd Bridges, you have Robert Stack, the guy from Unsolved Mysteries in this movie, and they're all just playing it so serious, but the things that they're saying are ridiculous. And it's hilarious. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in this movie, and he's really great in the movie. And yeah, I mean, the plot's kind of silly and ridiculous, but it needs to be for this type of film. And another thing to note is that this film is actually an almost shot-for-shot remake of the movie Airport, which I have not seen. But apparently they're very heavily relying on the script of Airport to write this one, but they're just writing on all these ridiculous jokes in it. So that's a really interesting fact to note. And as far as just how this looks, I'm going to get into kind of my one negative on this video, and it's not a knock on the film as a whole because I love the movie. But this is probably one of, if not the worst Paramount Presents transfer I've seen so far. It's not great. There's a lot of graininess to it in terms of the texture and stuff that almost make it feel like it's DVD quality. So I mean, it's not a great transfer if I'm being honest. I'm interested to know if anybody else has seen it. Go ahead and comment down below and let me know if you thought it was better than mine. But it's just this movie that I'm having an issue with, and it's just not great. The audio is pretty good. It's a great score. The guy who composed this did a lot of serious disaster scores before this, and they got him to do this movie, and it's a great score that goes along to it. Just in the beginning of it, when they use that Jaws stinger with a plane going back and forth through the crowds, it's a really good setup. So I had no issues with the sound. The sound was great. DTS HD Master Audio, and it sounds great. So like I said in the unboxing portion, they have two special features on this. One of them's almost 35 minutes long, and that's an actual Q&A with the directors of Airplane at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood, and that was on January 10th of this year that they had that. So they had all three directors, and it's nice to see they're still alive. I hadn't really been checking up, but it was a really cool Q&A with those guys talking to the fans about the insights and stuff on the film and just how they went about writing it. And they have that featurette, that filmmaker focus that they do on a lot of these Paramount Presents, talking to all the directors as well. And they went into a lot of just how they pitched this to all of these serious actors that came on board this movie. And it was really cool to see. Like I said, guys, this is just one of the best comedies of all time, Airplane. I'm happy to finally own it in this format. I wish the Blu-ray quality, the HD quality, was a little bit better, but overall, I'm happy with my purchase. I'm happy with its presentation. I have to give it a thumbs up just based on the overall movie and the special features incorporated. So that is a recommendation for me. I'm going to go ahead and leave the link down below so you can purchase this off of Amazon if you would like. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. And like always, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like this video. Comment down below if you have any thoughts on Airplane. If you've picked up this release, what are your thoughts on it? Just the overall quality and presentation. Go ahead and leave that in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.